Hello.
Hello, welcome to Bars and Bells. My name is Lauren.
And I'm Ian.
And this is week 3 of semester 6, right?
Got it right.
Okay, good.
Getting it
Of
right.
our strength and swings class. So thanks for joining us today. We will be starting with our body weight warm up as usual and then adding a kettlebell. And tonight we're getting into some cleans and presses. So stay tuned for those progressions until the kettlebell. It's body weight time first. So let's get started.
And let's start with those shoulder blades here today. Feet in parallel, root the toes, squeeze the butt cheeks, and continue to wear the ribs over the hips with your light shield. Then at the shoulder blades, let's elevate or shrug up, and then round forward, and then replace down low. Elevate again, and retract, and low. This elevating shape, as we do it one more time, is very useful, but right now we'll do forward. And both those forward and elevating shapes aren't as present in this practice. However, we'll reset up, and throughout today's practice, concentrate on the shoulder blades retracted, and then armpits down, particularly as we catch that kettlebell, and then go into our presses after. And now, let's go back up to the head and neck and draw our figure 8 circle. Hands can be at the sides or just somewhere across the body. And at the chin tuck, chin towards that sternum chest. Then rotate towards a shoulder of your choice. And then look up a wall. Once you're at the top, bring the chin back down or the crown head high. And then a chin tuck in the middle, a rotation the other way. Up the side wall, towards the ceiling, and return in the middle. Then reverse in the extension or up phase first. So light effort on the up, a rotation, a gentle chin nod to the shoulder, find center across that clavicle or collarbone, and final one, extension up, rotation, little chin nod, find the middle, and return center. It's that same pattern through the rib cage, and for that I do like the shoulder blades retracted and hands in nice and tight. And initiate with the gentle chin tuck first, then a flexing or rounding shape through the rib cage, followed by a rotation, a side bend, an up and over action to center, and then that up and flexion forward movement to follow, followed by that rotation, and then a side bend, up and over to the middle, and pull that rib cage onto the hips. Going the other way, hold that imaginary apple between your chin and your chest as you go into extension to prioritize the rib cage, not the neck. Now we'll rotate, we'll side bend, we'll circular shape from the back to the front and pull down on those abs as we extend. And then one more time, the rotation, followed by a side bend, circle shape to the front, and continue to pull down abs as you extend through that T-spine. I'll get us to the floor, and then Lauren will take it from there. Let's get the knees over toes, warm up those ankles, and we'll be lunging in those get-ups today, so find some balls of feet tension as well, and then return the heels and push those hips through, cramping glutes and bracing core. We'll get to the floor right away here as we go low. The heels could lift to those balls of feet, the knees touch. Hips extend, and follow along.
I like to warm up those wrists before we do get up, so let's hinge on the hips, land through the fingers, the callus line, and then that full palm. Once we're connected to the floor, let's reconnect to our shoulder blades. Shrug your shoulder blades up, and then pull them down. And then lightly pinch them together like a pencil between them, and then push the floor away, dropping that pencil, and nicely come back to center. Next, let's look at those elbow pits, rotating them backwards, and then screwing them into the wrists, rotating them forward. 2 more times as you do that, shoulder blades try not to move. It's just the arms in the sockets, pits rotating forward. And last time, elbow pits backwards, elbow pits forward. Now with the shoulders down, we'll push the floor away, palms leave the floor, control the landing. Repeat 2 more times, keeping the elbows super straight. If you want more, try to shift your weight over top of your wrists first. And don't bend your elbows, not even a millimeter. 1 last time, and then flick the floor away and give that a little shake out. Next, let's warm up those hips by bringing our leg into our front lunge, but then right away, heel toeing it open into the side position. Tossing you a hula hoop, throwing it around your waist, and let's lightly take that hula hoop and try to circle it. As we do that, try to dissociate the hips from the shoulders. Switch directions. So the shoulders, the rib cage aren't moving, but the pelvis is. As well, the legs are trying to stay fairly stationary, hips moving around the legs. Come back to center. Heel toe that leg to the front. Now we'll start with tension right away. So we'll start pulling the floor together without moving. Front legs pulling in, back hips pushing forward. Hips are trying to be level. Then push the floor forward and back. So much so we hover and hold. Now could you lift your front heel up? Place the heel down. Come to mid station. Lift the front heel up. Place the heel down. Come to high station. Lift the front heel up. Place the heel down. And then control pulling the floor together underneath you. Soft landing. Relax. Bring that leg underneath and let's repeat the same routine on the other side. So we heel-toed open right away to your side so that your toes and your knee are in their same line, but your hips and shoulders are square to the front of the room. Then hula hoops for everyone as we gently circle around. Is this side easier or harder? Doesn't matter the answer, but just thinking about it. Switching directions, still trying to dissociate from those shoulders, and then coming to center. We'll heel toe that leg to the front and start with our tension right away. So we started by pulling the floor together underneath of us. Back cheek squeezed, front leg pulled in. Then change the direction, pushing forward and back. Tension so much, we hover the front knee. Staying stacked, heel lifts off the floor, heel comes down. Mid station, heel lifts off the floor, heel comes down. High station, heel up, heel down. Pull together to descend. Knees come underneath you. Give that a little shake. Let's stand up using our hinge because we'll be using that today. And then we'll get that kettlebell out. So we should stop in a plank. So let's stop in a plank. Out in our plank position or the top of our swing position, our shoulders are pulled out of our ears, our butt cheeks are squeezed, and we're pulling the floor together underneath of us. We're breathing underneath that shield, embracing our abs. Let's hold that high tension. Are your kneecaps pulled up so your quads are tight? Your butt cheeks squeezed, your hands gripping the floor, your shoulders down for 3, 2. Push the floor forward, lifting the hips. Walk the hands towards the feet. End up in your hinge position. Remember that hinge position. Vertical shins, high butts, long spine. Push down and out on the floor. Press to tall. Boom.
We have a kettlebell. Grab that kettlebell using the hinge, even if it's in a weird position next to a wall, but use those hip hinges where you can. I'll take us through a little bit of bodyweight squat, but Lauren, take us into a little bit of the bell.
We'll start with that bottoms up as we did last week. So we'll stand behind our kettlebell with the handle parallel to our feet. We'll use our hip hinge. We'll grip close to the baby pinky side, but not on the corner. Tip your weight forward first, stacking your wrist, your elbow, your shoulder, square up. Then sit back, tipping the bell. Swing through, pop upside down. Have your other hand ready, protect your face. Retracted shoulder, lats engaged. Maybe a little quarter press with that bell. Holding for 3, 2, return it back. Keep it tight to the body as you place it down and park that bell. Shake it out.
Shake it out.
Switch sides. Hip hinge, grip close to the pinky side. Tip forward a bit, pack brace, swing through, upside down. Hold. Maybe a quarter press as you breathe and brace for 4, 3, 2, tight to the body, and park.
Today's practice will focus on that hip hinge or kettlebell swing, but for that get up, for that sweep through movement, let's get a little squat action to warm up on those hips. Open up to your favorite squat stance and feel free to explore narrow or wide, and let's pull ourselves down nice and tall through that upper body. Just like Lauren had us do earlier, can we lift up a heel, push that ankle bone forward, return that heel to the floor. Same thing other side and hold for about 3, 2, heel down, maybe get lower, and then push those hips through to finish tall. Repeat one more variation on the same idea. Pull ourselves low. This time, keep your pinky toe heavy, but bring your knee towards the midline. Then keep your big toe heavy as you pry or open up the knee to the back wall. Same thing other side, heavy on the pinky toe towards midline, heavy big toe as you reach away. Think about getting lower and then push apart. Push the hips through and then heel toe out and shake. Make room in those hips for the sweeps and for those lunges. But until then, one more bottoms up move.
One more, bottoms up. Either trying the same thing or adding a little press to that bottoms up, but always have the other hand ready and come back down with safety and control. Hip hinge, grip, stack, tip, swing through, upside down. If you're ready, pressing that bell towards overhead, holding it for a second, and then controlling the descent back to the rack position, through, and park. Shake it out. Second side. Swing through. Upside down. Adjust your stance as needed. Prepare for liftoff by tightening up that core, rooting the feet, and then pulling the bell down, maintaining that vertical forearm as it comes to the rack position. Tight to the body. And park. Whew. Nice moves.
Grip is fired up. Definitely felt the abs on that move as well. So if you're feeling ready and ready to rock, let's get our kettlebell get-ups going. And integrate that one arm swing. I'll be using the same load for both my get-up and the swing to clean progression today.
As will I.
And Lauren will too. But feel free to get that load that's just right for you to maintain integrity, but also promote the challenge in your workout. Up and down from the floor, maybe it's those no hands, and we'll take our time as we only do our half get-up, ending in that windmill position with one hand on the floor, one knee on the floor, and one foot. Lauren's cues will get us there. I'm confident in it.
We start with a cuddle, and then we roll to our back and press that bell. Setting up with that bent leg and the long leg heavy on the floor as we drive our hip through to our elbow. We're looking at our bell as we transition to that high sit, and then we're gonna bridge and sweep and hold. Stickity stack right on top of each other, then sweep back through. Find your elbow, push away from your elbow to your back, pull the bell down, and cuddle it with control to the floor. Whew, how'd that weight feel? How'd the move feel? Whether it's body weight because you're just getting used to it or a light bell, take your time and keep practicing as we do on the other side.
It's the cuddle, the roll, and I like that two-handed press. Now drive through that bent leg, sit tall after that elbow. Then we'll bridge and sweep and hold this pause in a stickity stack kind of way. And then looking at the bell, we'll sweep back to the tall sit, find the elbow, and then push off the elbow, returning to our back, to the floor. And again, maybe that no-handed get up. Stand up any way you wish. Challenge yourself in strict ways like the get up and playful ways maybe with no hands. From this position, feel free to adopt a two-handed swing if you're new to kettlebell movements here, or challenge yourself with this one-arm swing. One hike, meaning to the zipper or groin, then one stop, hi-ya.
Or two.
But let's do one more stop just like that, and whoop to the top, and then let's go 3 consecutive swings. 1 and 2. And last one. If you have the pattern, I'll be joining in Lauren here as we do the other side.
You go, and then I'll go with you.
That works too.
So it started with one hike pass and a pause, and then 2 stop swings. On this, we're using our hips to drive the bell through. Bell is ending at chest height. And last time here for 3 continuous swings. Last day, we broke down these swings a little bit more. So if you're questioning or confused or want to go over it, go back to last week. Maybe
Always.
later. Let's do the same thing on the other side. Together?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
So with our hinge, it starts with that hike pass and park, and then 2 stops. That strong exhale as the hips drive through and park, and then it's 3 continuous swings. And park that bell.
For movements like the swings, they're ballistic and they're fast. We don't want to spend too much time in any one position, but then for movements like the get up and that kettlebell press, that time under tension is key. So as you go back to the floor, let's do 2 half repetitions of that get up. I think I went down on that like the last time, so we'll try to mix it up if we can as well.
So 2 in a row this time.
2 half get ups.
No matter how many in a row, it always starts with the cuddle, the roll, and the press. Setup is key. Get it, then drive to your elbow, then to your hand. We'll bridge, sweep, hold, 3, 2, then sweep back through, to your elbow, to your back. Keep the bell up over that shoulder, repeat. Elbow, hand, bridge sweep, 3, 2, sweep back through, find your elbow, away from your elbow, to your back. Control the bell down, cuddle it over, let it go, and spin yourself around.
Same thing now on the other side. And again, we could do this body weight. Maybe one is loaded, the kettlebell, the second one, that body weight version. Choose your own adventure. And let's just do it together for 2 in a row. Cuddle, roll, 2-hand press. Look at that kettlebell and drive the hip. We're on the elbow. Then tall sit, we're on the hand. Bridge and sweep those hips and hold for a second. And then sweep back down, tall sit to the elbow and plank-like tension, returning to the floor. Repeat again, it's a hip drive to the elbow, tall sit on the hand, bridge and sweep and hold. 3, 2, and then control the down, tall sit, elbow to our back, and then return it to the floor. And maybe a different way to come up now. Got it. One arm swings. That's cool. What else?
Sorry, I was thinking, don't do that. Focus, Lauren, focus. We're going to work on our cleans today, which is super exciting.
Awesome.
That's why I shouldn't have been thinking about other things. So with our cleans, let's get started here today with 2-handed pickups. So 2-handed chi clean. We'll stand right over top of our bell. We'll hinge, we'll grip with one, we'll cuddle with the other. Keeping the bell tight to our body, using our hips, pull, punch through. Hold for a second, try to let go with that supporting hand for 3, 2, 2 hands undo your coat, place it down. Stay, pick it up again. Hip hinge, drive through, 3, 2, 2 hands on, tight to the body down. One more time. Zip, hold. Now here, let's just go through a couple things. Wrist straight and strong, vertical forearm. Tight to the body, but not leaning on your hip. Imagine pressing this bell. Don't yet. 2 hands, park. Whew, step away, shake it out. We'll do the same thing on the other side, over top of your bell. It's a 1, 2, zip, punch through. Let go of the supporting arm. 3, 2, 2 hands, guide the bell down. Pack shoulders, use your hip drive to punch through that bell. You will feel the weight of that bell in the forearm. Basically, you just have to get used to it. Put the bell down. One last time, punch through. It will feel a little painful at first. Just make sure you have that nice straight wrist. No broken here. Tight to the body and park.
Whew, whew. So for those of you who joined us last week at our bar class, we pressed that kettlebell in very much the same way. We got it to the rack position in the cheek clean and then push it overhead. Let's do the same thing for 1 repetition and then integrate a 1/2 get up also to that kneeling or windmill position.
That sounds great.
Okay.
You tell us what to do.
Sounds good. So we're going to stand over top of that kettlebell, utilize that hip hinge, and with 2 hands, zip it up into the rack, full body tension overhead. Then the leg you can touch, let's drop back in the lunge. Then open the leg to the side as the warm up. Look at the kettlebell as we hinge to the floor, stickity stack and hold, and push the floor away with the hand, extend the hip through, square up the lunge, finish in a tall stand, pull that kettlebell to that rack position and hold, and then return to the floor. Come up, barehanded. Repeat the same thing on the other side. It's a hip hinge. It's the preload and the zip up and a full body tension to press. The leg we can touch again drops back with control in a lunge. The front leg opens to the side and we rotate and hinge underneath, finding the floor and stack. Then push the floor away, extend the hip through, square up our lunge, tall stand, and always the control piece to pull back down to the rack. Quick pause and return to the floor. Very cool.
Very
That is a 2-handed
cool.
cleat variation. Clean, sorry, I think I might have said cleat there. We're not playing football. Next.
one-handed.
One hand.
All you do is take away a hand. I still remember my gymnastics coach telling me that when I was learning an aerial. She's like, just do a cartwheel and don't put your hands down.
Put your hand down.
It's pretty easy for a 6-year-old. Now, not being a 6-year-old, we are going to hip hinge, grip, pack our shoulder, use our hips as we pull. We drive through and catch that one hand. Let's still put it down with two. So with two hands, tight to the body, place. Repeat, pack shoulder, brace. Inhale, punch through, and then park bell with two. One last time. As you punch through this bell, you need a firm grip, but you need a light grip in order to maneuver through that handle. Two hands on and park. Step away, shake that out. If you use your dominant hand, your non-dominant is gonna feel a little bit weird. Keep practicing.
Hips.
Use your hips. Hip hinge, grip, pack shoulder, brace, punch. Tight to the body, two hands on the down. Take away the off arm, square up, punch through, tight to the body, two hands down. One last time, punch through, imagine pressing it, two hands, park bell. Super.
It's one more set of get-ups for today, and that's right, it'll be a double approach. One of those cheat cleans to rack and a press, and then a down, up to mid-station, and then I believe that's it for get-ups. We all know Lauren likes to joke around a little bit at the end.
I think for today, I'm not going to joke around.
Okay.
Serious.
So I'll be trying to implement that one arm clean to the rack as I use my hip hinge, feel the preload, and zip up a coat, punch or push through that kettlebell overhead, and drop in a lunge, open to the side, set up the windmill, then push the ground away, push the hip through, square up, and finish in our tall stand. Now keep it there, and if allowed, repeat. Doing it under load, again, with integrity, but also if you need a little body weight break in between, as you push the floor away and square up, modify as you need. But we're tall standing, pull to the rack, return to the floor, and a little shake and wiggle. Repeat on the other side. Stand over top. Do you feel the preload, that tension between you and that kettlebell? And zip up and push. And then the leg you can touch drops back in a lunge, open up, and it's that windmill hinge, grabbing the floor and then pushing the floor away and the hip through. Square up, tall stand, ensure that shoulder is packed and the wrist is strong, and drop in a lunge again, open. This is that windmill move, and then push through, hips through, push the floor apart from the middle to tall stand, and return it to the rack and down to the ground. This is going a little bit off script here. As we finish today's practice, let's do 5 repetitions of one arm swings on each side. I go, you go. Get that conditioning piece.
That sounds
there.
great.
Cool.
All right, let's do that. I'll start.
Lauren starts. On Friday of this last week, after that bar class, we were working on our YouTube tiles, and Lauren told me to stop trying so hard. Find that sweet spot between effort, that relaxation of the float. And let's do both sides together there, Lauren, sorry. Left and right. Increase that heart rate just a little bit more. So again, instead of using my knees so much, as Lauren described, use your glutes, use those hips, and then power through. And that's hopefully I can follow through on those cues here today.
Whew. If you were swinging with me, we're taking a break. So shake it out, stay loose. We just had a lot of tension when we were swinging. We need to recover with no tension or less. If you're Ian, a little shake, second side. It's the hip drive that snaps you through. You're swinging to that chest-ish height. What I noticed in my photos, I got too powerful and started letting the bell get up here. Tame that down.
So maybe Lauren needed a bigger or heavier kettlebell, or just finding again that right ratio of work to effort or load to effort to finish nice and strong. That's 5. Little body weight in the middle is a good, and then do the same thing then on the other side. We haven't talked about the toes today, but they're rooted too. The kneecaps pull up at the top of that swing, and as always, it's the rib cage connected to the hips to prevent that low back lumbar extension.
Shake it out. Shake it out. Take a couple breaths while we're resting, and then we could check out our partner. Are we still seeing that hip hinge? Are we seeing the bell reach behind them? The hips are reaching back at the top. Everything is tight. We can hear that breath matching the hip drive. They're swinging to about chest height, and the top shoulder is packed. So many things to think about.
There are, and here we are, of that third of potentially 5 sets here. It's the exertion on the exhale and that top up of air, the inhale as the kettlebell falls back. 5 repetitions, nice quiet on the pickup, nice and quiet on the landing, and again, same thing. Lauren's preferred rack position or finish position for the swing is that hand and rack. I think I've been playing a little bit with the other hand out front or the rack. Both are good. Do the one movement that helps you stay square, avoid the rotation.
For newer people to single arm swings, I like that hand swinging through and tapping the bell each time. That encourages the arm to swing with you. You know what to do with it. It doesn't get lost and confused out to the side. So if you are new to those single arm swings, try just tapping with that off arm out front. And then once you get more comfortable, you can change that to a bent arm position. Last 1 or 2 here, and we're on round 4.
Round 4. In slow and out slower for those who are in recovery mode, and those shakes definitely help keep the tension for the important skill like the swing. Good quiet park, bodyweight resets. One of these days you should maybe try that hand-to-hand switch, but for now, stick to the park. I love the first repetition starting with integrity, and as Lauren's going to demonstrate here perfectly, finish much the same way.
That pick down and put up, or pick down and put up. The put down and the pick up are very important parts of our kettlebell swing. So make sure that you take the time to do both. When you're picking up the bell, square yourself out, root your feet, pack your shoulders, then go. And on that put down, in 2 more swings, try to place it gently. That means you're in control. Stand up square to the bell, and then you can walk away. Last set.
Last set here. And then the link lighter this week, really focus on the breathing techniques. So as you finish this, let's slow down with our heart rate after. Get your heart rate excited, but also bring it back down to truly enjoy that rest as well. 5 reps, 1 more set. Focus on one thing. It's very hard to focus on all these cues. So maybe it's the feet today or that shoulder pack. I'm going to work on my straight elbow because that's what Lauren called me out last week on.
Photos don't lie, unfortunately. Take your time here, but not too much taking your time, because that swing has a cadence. So try to keep that consistent cadence through this last set of swings. Take your time. 1 last set of 5. If your last set of 5 isn't feeling as good as your first set, put it down, take a break, and quit while you're ahead. Let's finish with the breath like Ian said. We'll take a nice inhale through the nose and try to exhale through the nose. And again, inhale and exhale. This time I want you to think inhale belly, exhale. Inhale, try to fill 360. Exhale. Now inhale, trying to do both of those things. So inhale, fill 360 degrees, and exhale. Let's repeat. In for 4, out for 4. In for 4, hold your breath for 4. Exhale for 4. Hold empty for 4. In for 4. Hold for 4. Exhale for 4. Hold empty for 4. One more time. In 4. Hold. In more. Hold. Exhale for 6, 5. Hold empty for 4, 3, 2, and relax.
I had to close my eyes for that one. Got a little intense. The swings can definitely be intense, but so too could those breathing techniques to help restore order after a nice strong lift. So this has been our 4 o'clock live on Tuesdays, episode 3, season 6, if you will. And we will continue on to this week with our bar class on Thursday, live at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then Lauren will be away this weekend, but I promise to be here on Saturday. We'll play with our strength, we'll crawl, we'll breathe, maybe some handstands as well. So we look forward to sharing more in this 6th semester with you as we continue.
Before we meet again on Thursday, make sure you like and subscribe to YouTube. Check out our Patreon page and our website. And until next time, take care
Stay strong.
and let's train soon.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.